Hello, everybody. Hello, Sinistello. I should probably update the today command. Adam worked on some game design this morning and came to conclusions about how he can make the content, the boss/location content for the rest of story mode. In short, he's going to show bosses on the world map so that locations can be regular/boss locations can be combined into one, saving on space. Okay, that's pretty much it. So the very first thing we need to do is wrap up the work that I'd done earlier, which is set up foundation for localization. This is incomplete. It's what we need to use weblate, have xgettext, find all of the strings that we actually translate, and eventually localize all of Skeleseller. It does not translate every string, nor does it get rid of the source generators that we should stop using. I did much of this work while streaming and then decided that it doesn't make for good stream content. So I want to finish it on my own time at some point. However, in the meantime, I want to move on to other tasks. So I need to merge this into main. Create. I want to look at these changes quickly. 251 files. Oh yeah, it's actually going to even be more than that eventually. Oh, that's not good. What is this doing there? That should have been outright deleted. Folder doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah. Update.get modules. I wouldn't have even reviewed this. There was a stale reference to the old folder path. All right, well, this should get updated. Do I have to click something? I'll just refresh. Oh, there it is. Refresh. Okay, it's still going to be a changed file, but it shouldn't have changed everything there. And yeah, I'm not planning on reviewing all of this. A lot of it's going to be just string changes, and a lot of even those are just going to be calling translate on something. Like if I scroll to an arbitrary point, we should see a call to translate. Well, we're seeing blank because it's taking forever to load. But yep, look at that. A call to translate. Yeah, that's what pretty much this entire change is going to be. So yeah, I don't think it's worth looking through. I was informed I need to save my watch streak on here too because YouTube doesn't count. I wonder how that works with the morning streams. Like, is it a streak per day or per stream? Either way, hi. Also, do you think I should keep that feature on or should I turn it off? Because people seem to like it, but I don't really care one way or another. If people voted to turn it off, I'd be fine with that. Any other thing we have here? No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, watch streaks, yeah. Yeah, because I think I can turn them off. It is per stream. Also, I wish it didn't keep prompting me to share my watch streak. Yeah, it's little things like that. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it because honestly, the pro is like a psychological dark pattern of getting people to return. But there are a whole lot of cons. One, the UX, like constant prompting. Two is FOMO. Actually, I guess that's kind of it. Well, it's not even the UX. I guess there's also spam from other people sharing their watch streaks. And I don't necessarily prioritize this, I guess. I don't know. Keep it on. It's fun to see how parasocially obsessed I am with some streamers. Okay. Oh, man. All right, so we've done this. Now it is start working on reusing locations. All right, I'm very interested in doing this. We're gonna make, whoa, what happened there? What was that? Post checkout was ignored because it's not set as executable. That's not good. Okay, well, we got to figure out how to fix this. Oh, I just need to chmod it? That's it? Oh. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, I guess let's do that then. Git slash hook slash star dot hook. No. How? Let's just go into that directory. Git slash hooks. Because there are only two files in here I want to make executable. One is post checkout and the other is post merge. And that's it. Now I don't need to do anything, I guess. But I should probably modify the README and mention that. Hooks. Yeah, I'll make a new branch. Git checkout dash B. What are we calling this? Maybe like bosses on battle map. And now the acronym is Bob 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 on battlefield. All right, so we're gonna need to do this at the end of all this stuff. Merge into main and switch back to main. And what I call this? Bosses on battle map. Cool. So I should publish this. Yeah. And then I need to change this. Make sure the hooks are executable or they won't run. That's not what I want to do. It's this. I wonder if you can do this with two files at once. Can you? File dot dot dot. What's the dot dot dot? There is no. Hey, who cares? How you doing? Well, I guess I could just test it. Post merge. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do then. Okay, update README about get hooks. They let you skip streams. Very cheat. Also, I'm in 3 minutes ad purgatory. You can't respond to those things. Been a while since I've watched on a Friday. Yeah, it's been a while since you were sort of regularly here, I think. But I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little, I don't know. There's always this weird thing in between boundaries of tasks. So you're working on task A, you get done, you start to work on task B. It's like whatever momentum you had on task A kind of grinds to a halt a little bit. At least that's how I feel. So I've done quite a lot this week. And now I'm about to start a new thing. And I'm just like, do I really want to right now? Also, at best, we have about 3 hours. It's not a short amount of time, but it's not long enough to get everything done. But whatever. All right, so show bosses on the overworld. They'll only show when the following are true. You've never beaten the boss before. You're in story mode, and the last unlocked location is the location with the boss. We need to figure out how we're going to do this. So yeah, let's figure out how we're manifesting these to begin with, huh? All instance data. Okay, so currently instance data is a display name, recommended level, scene path, cost to unlock. Where's the number of adventurers it allows? Oh, here it is. Oh, there's elite instance data. Interesting. Interesting indeed. What does this have? Monster name, battle map, flavor text, banner flavor text, and maximum adventurers. Okay, I already have the structure of this stuff set up. So the canyon. Oh, I see, but the room spawn data is just for this. We should probably change a lot of this stuff. I'd love to not belabor all of this. Do we make challenge mode instances too? Yeah, we do. All right, well, let's keep track of what structure we have right now, which is this. And then I want to figure out what I want. So the current structure has what? One instance ID to one instance data? Yeah. Instance ID, instance data. And then if an instance is for a boss, then the room data and drops are just for the boss. So there's no way right now for us to have one location have two sets of drops because it just never made sense. There was no reason for that. So I wonder what the best way to do this is. The proposed changes are to let a location have two different battles. So I think what we should probably do is an instance ID should point to like regular instance data and boss instance data. But the boss one needs something special on it, which is all of this. F12 stopped working. Man. Monster name. What is that used for? Oh, interesting. Okay, sure. Yeah. And I'd like to reuse some of these things too. So monster name, I might as well copy this over there too. We could make this C# and then just do one of these. Okay, so if I point to two of these, we'll have different display names. I don't want different display names, do I? And maybe I don't even want different recommended levels. I'm not sure about that part though. They might have different levels. The boss levels can go up. Did we change what the recommended level would be if you beat a place already? We added text afterward and put a question mark. Oh man. Okay. Oh man. All right. So the recommended level could change for a boss. I might as well write all this stuff down. The recommended level changes for a boss if you've beaten it. It either shows the instance level or the number of wins you have if you've unlocked the ability to fight bosses again. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what's in common. Does the display name change? I sure hope not. Display name elite symbol. That should be... Yeah, that says Canyon. Okay, I think that's fine. So the display name doesn't change. I guess I should just write this here. Doesn't change. Changes. Scene path. Scene path's going to have to change. Cost to unlock doesn't change. Next coding project is building our parent Docker images that my main project can use. Those images will support different languages and console apps versus web apps. Sounds like a good project. I never... Docker images are one of those things where I'll make one once every like 2 years. And in that time, I'll completely forget what all the best practices are and how to do this stuff. And it's kind of a shame. All right, next instance ID doesn't change. All room spawn data changes. Item drops changes. And this is, I mean, technically not changes, but it's like, yeah, I'll just write changes. Or maybe only needed for bosses. All right, so the things that are the same, let's put a star next to this, this, this. So it's a name, a cost for the next thing, and then a pointer to the next thing. No. Cost for the current thing, and then a pointer to the next thing. Everything else is different. So what we could do is we could have location data or like battle map location data, and then just put all this stuff with stars there. It's got a name, it's got a cost to unlock, and it's got the next thing in the list. And then we have a structure for instance data, I guess. And that's all the stuff that changes. So let's just copy those things. This, and this. And that goes here. And I guess we don't need these here anymore. And we don't need these either. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that either. I'm just being silly. Proposal. All right, so battle map location data. So then we need two different things in here, right? We need instance data, regular instance data, and boss instance data. And this might not exist, which means it can't be a record struct anymore. It apparently could be. Huh. It's a whole lot of fun. Sometimes you'll build one out and you find out there's an official image that does exactly what you want. Software in a nutshell. I think it's neat to look through Docker images and see how they try to optimize things. But I don't generally like a lot of DevOps stuff myself. I like it a little bit. Like I did a lot of it yesterday, and I've learned a lot over the years, and it probably would have been more painful if I'd tried doing what I did yesterday 5 years ago. I'm talking about setting up WebLate, by the way. This site that I have now. I didn't make the site or anything. I just basically put this online. But there was a lot of hassle in doing that. And yeah, I imagine if I made my own Docker images that I'd probably have messed some things up. But there are best practices out there. There are ways of making sure you've done things correctly. And at the end of the day, sometimes good enough is all you need. All right, so this represents a location. So this might be something like, let's just write out some things here. This might be canyon. This might be 50 gold. This might be the volcano. This would point to, yeah, certain things here. So this would be boss data, and this would be regular data. And in this particular case, so let's say we were filling this out with the regular data, it'd be recommended level of 2, maybe. Scene path of something, maybe like regular canyon.tscn. Room spawn data, we might say like 5 enemies here. And item drops might be like 3 drops. And then the boss stuff would be the same thing. Recommended level might also be 2. This would be like boss canyon. This would be just the ogre. And this would be ogre blood. So what am I missing then? I guess the elite instance data. This would be needed if this exists. In which case, maybe it's just different data altogether. And what does it do? Oh, we kind of... Oh, I see. Monster name, battle map, flavor text. There's no flavor text for regular locations. Yeah, I guess not. Maximum adventures. Yeah. This is not the best way of putting this data here, but this would work. So we could do these two structures. The problem is we kind of want these to be bundled into one. Like if there's a boss, you need to fill all of this stuff out. In which case, I guess we would put this into here. So this would be elite instance data. And we keep track of I don't even know what we call this. Instance data. And then that would be this. And then this is not needed. Yeah. All right, I think that's how our data would look. So then we need to fill in these things. Ogre. The ogre is really strong. the ogre will no longer terrorize that poor canyon. And max number of adventures would be 2. Yeah, all right. I think this is looking pretty good. So this is going to be beastly to change. Because I need to do this everywhere. Also, I'd like to reuse it in between bone mode and this. And I don't have an easy way of doing that, do I? Well, this could reference the other one, right? Can it? I don't even know. Let's find out. Data crypt.elite instance data. And then just delete this stuff. Well, well, well. It does work. Yeah, I think that's the kind of thing we're probably going to do then. Although in bone mode, maybe we could have this stuff return items that don't sell for as much. Or just manually change the sell price of those items. Can we do that? I think I already did this somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Challenge 1 item values. Well, well, well. He's back from lunch. I don't have any more meetings. That's some work to do. So at least I can listen. Well, hi, Xyletics. I think I've come up with a pretty good solution for all this stuff that we were working on this morning. But coding it is another challenge altogether. Oh, let's get started. What are you going to do, right? So should I make new structures out of these and then slowly delete the old ones, or should I just change the existing ones? Are these named correctly? Let's look at the names first. Battle map location data. I think that's fine. Instance data. Yeah, that's probably also fine too. Elite instance data. Like maybe we should call those base data. And then this would be the base data. See instance data below. Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable. All right. All right. I should probably just make new things and then rename them at the end so that it breaks all of the code. Maximum breakitude. All right, let's do it. So copy all of this. So this normally would be called instance data. We're going to call this instance data rename me. And then this as well. Yeah. So then we put that there and that there. And then this doesn't exist. This is just our example. In fact, let's delete it. Let's save this mock-up somewhere. I'll just save it on my disk. Why not? Mockup.cs. Why did it not change? Oh, there it goes. That took a long time. Weird. Okay, cool. And then this needs to still exist. And this is now for instance data rename me. So we put that like this and delete that. No, it wouldn't go here. Well, not all of it would go there. This would go here. Room count. Instance data. Okay, sure. Get maximum adventurers. Why do we do this? Oh, man, because of that. All right, well, this doesn't go here. Yeah, this can't go here. There's no single maximum number of adventurers you can have. Unless we limit how many adventurers you could have in the regular location. Like the canyon only ever allows for 2 adventurers at a time. I don't think that's a good idea at all, though. So this is a bit of a conundrum. What do we do? Well, we probably have to move this somewhere else. Where was this called? Oh God, in 4 different places. Oh man. Okay, well that's a cheat. We could probably just ignore that. What is this? Battle panel tab, max party size, set start button say. Okay, yeah. And what's this last one? To not start it. I don't know what we're supposed to do about that then. Well, we could pass in. Okay, here's what we could do. We could change this so that it takes in another argument, which is bool is fighting elite. Or like, yeah, is fighting elite. Or use elite data. Something like that. And then we put all of this information up here. And then we only use the elite data if use elite data is actually there. So base max equals use elite data question mark this. Otherwise, the default. I can write this line better, so I'll do that later. Improve this line of code. And then we return this. That's totally fine. Yeah, I think that all looks good. And I got to delete all these comments here. It's just for me for right now. This should be rename me. Anything else? Anything else? Cool. So we have a validate call. If I were to try building this now, it would break everything. So let's try building it. Now we need to fix all of the breakages. It says 4 errors, but I think it's way more than 4 errors. So all of this would change to this rename me thing. Get data would also need to change. Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna break it all. Oh boy. Yeah, oh boy. All right, let's try running it again. Now I expect there are going to be way more errors. Probably 12 minimally? 60. Well, that is more than 12. All right, so let's start with this stuff. Instance data that is elite. It used to be that an instance could be considered elite, and now we need to know whether you're doing the elite version or not. Yeah, I'm going to do the easy parts of this. In fact, you know what I probably should have done? I should rename this back when the old function existed or whatever. Too late for that now. Too late for that now. Instance ID, next instance ID. I mean, some of this stuff is actually fine. Oh, man. All right, let's start with this file. And let's fix all the red in here. Because I'm not actually fixing anything unless I make it abide by this new structure. Rename to match Pascal case. Yeah, I don't care about that. Same thing with this. Yeah, I don't care about that either. All right, so battle map location data is what this is really going to contain. And none of this works. Hey, Karada, thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so a new battle map location data. We need a display name. Display name is going to be the forest. Then I'm just going to fill all this out manually for now. Cost to unlock is going to be 0. What else do we have? Next instance ID. Yeah, that's already there. Then we have regular instance data. And this is going to be a new thing. What is in this? these 4 things. All right, so recommended level. Whoops. Let's put that up like that. Scene path. All spawn data. Room spawn data. And item drops. Okay. And then finally, we have the elite data, which is going to be null. And then we just delete all of this. Why is this red? Because it's not called that? Am I supposed to capitalize that? It's called elite instance data. Oh, there. Now why is it red? Does not have a parameter. Oh, because that goes there. Okay, nice. We fixed one problem. Look at all that red right here. Got to fix all of that. Okay, so the canyon is the first special instance of this. So we're gonna just keep working through this. So display name is going to be the canyon. The cost to unlock is 35. That's all fine. Next instance is the volcano. Technically not, but we're just going to do that anyway for right now. Now, regular instance data, we need to fill this in. So let's just give it forest bats for now. Actually, no, it should use volcano bats. Yeah, 1 volcano bat and return, I don't know, a red potion, small red potion, sure, whatever. I don't even think that has a value. But at least we'll know for sure that this is working. And then we need to populate it with the correct data. But now this is the difficult part. Or, well, not really all that difficult, I guess. And now we need the base data. Base data is lowercase. Oh, should be capitalized. And we plug that in over here. Base data. New. And yeah, there we go. Why is that red? Oh, because there's no comma there. And now we delete all of this. All right, not too shabby. Whew, okay, well, it should know how to make all these changes now on its own, I hope. Oh, hey, look, Moolah. Thank you, who cares, for the $10. I will show this on stream for those who otherwise would not have ever seen this. But yeah, just a big $10 bill in chat. Bright and yellow, just like a real $10 bill. Yeah, I appreciate it. Very kind of you, who cares? Oh, I can click like on it. I can click the heart on it. I want to click everything. Are they yellow or are they green? Oh, it might be green and I just have dark reader on. I'm not sure what color it shows for you. But yeah, it definitely looks yellow on my screen. Or are you saying that you're colorblind between the two colors? So what I showed on stream is at least yellow. I don't know what YouTube's supposed to have it as. Oh, I was making a joke about real money being yellow. Yeah. In the US, it's green. As I'm sure you know. All right, so I gotta plunk all this stuff in here. Cost to unlock, etc., etc. So let's just copy paste all of this. Yeah. So cost to unlock here should be... Oh, it says this is unlocked by beating a boss. That's not the case anymore. We need an actual cost. So I guess 70. And we're probably going to need to delete this. Oh boy. Well, I've got my work cut out for myself. But hey, I think this will be good. And I know generally what I'm doing. It's just a lot of very fiddly parts. All right, next instance ID is the jungle. Now what do we have? Recommended level is 2. Scene path is the volcano. Instance has bats. Has 3 bats. And then item drops are these. There is no elite, but that's actually not going to be true eventually. So let's just leave that as is for now. Now what's the problem? We need a comma. All right, we just keep working through this stuff. So that's fine. Display name, that's good. Next instance is the crypt. Yep. Okay, now regular instance data and elite data. Recommended level still 2. Scene path is the jungle. Room data is this. Item data is this. Okay, nice. Now we get another elite version of this. Do you like using that keyboard? Yeah, I love it. And welcome in, Gojo. Yeah, I think it's great. I've been using it now for, I don't actually know how long, maybe 3 years? But yeah, it feels pretty natural. Okay, so we're just copying over data. Crypt, cost to unlock is 100. Next thing is the waterways. Regular data doesn't exist technically. So we got to just make something up. So sure, let's put in a volcano bat, whatever. Yeah. And then this needs to change. Recommended level 3. Crypt. Good. Then fill in this stuff. This isn't correct. There. Max number of adventurers should be 3 though. Okay, so now we delete all of that. There's a very slim chance I even copied all this data correctly. We're going to need to look at this very closely. But for now, we're just converting stuff. So let's keep converting stuff. We have another few of them. Oh, and then I think things will get a little tougher for the challenge mode versions of these. Yeah. Well, like I said, our work's cut out for us. All right, waterways, cost to unlock. I don't even know what we set that to. Maybe this should have been 100. So then the next one should be 200. I don't know. I'm going to say 200 though. Waterways. Recommended level 4. Waterways, new room data. And then this. Okay. What am I missing now? Argument missing. All right, good. Same thing with the deep forest. Yeah, so we have 2 more of these left to do, and then it gets harder. This should probably have a cost of 300, if not more. We'll need to add more instance IDs too. So the deep forest has a recommended level of 5. Deep forest, the room spawn data changes. And this changes. Okay, that one's done. And finally, the Inferno. How am I getting 2 commas on all of these? Oh, I must be copying more than I expect. All right, so this is Inferno. It should probably cost, I don't know, 500. I'm just making things up. This is Inferno. No, this is none. Recommended level is 8. Inferno instance. Room spawn has 3 different waves of enemies. And the items are quite a lot. And then we delete this. Oh, and then the fishing pond. Drat. I didn't think about this. Oh, man. Hey, Flare. Flare and a half. All right. Fishing pond. So this is a little different. This has a 0 cost to unlock. It has no next instance. It's regular instance data has a recommended level of 0. Scene path is a fishing pond. All room data is nothing. Items are nothing. And that's that. Okay, so we have made one entire data structure work correctly here, hopefully. Now I need to get this working for this stuff down here, and I need to figure out why we even changed this. Apparently, there's a different kind of bat, and there are different items for this. But what else? This doesn't change a thing. This changes the loot. Okay, so a lot of these are changing loot. How many of them are changing enemies? Probably like a couple. Played my game and it was fun. Good feeling after having broken down into an unplayable state for months. That's really good to hear. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out. I will warn you, in case you're not already, if this isn't on your radar, but I had this happen too where I was playing Skeleseller and I'm like, okay, this is fun. I was feeling pretty good. And then the doubt started to creep in again. And I'm like, okay, no, things are good. Things are good. And then the doubt came back. So hopefully you can stay on top. Because I couldn't. All right, so you know what we could do if we want to make this just the fastest possible thing? Could just copy paste all of this for now and worry about this later. It's going to be a little bit obnoxious to do. So the room spawn is going to change and the items are going to change. Yeah. So this should be, whoops, I'm just randomly copying this somewhere. Challenge mode, forest bat. And then these are the items. All right. Did I get too many of these? What happened here? Why is this not, oh, I see. Because I have all the old data down here. I'm going to do that and hope that that worked. It did not. Did I mean to... Oh God, what have I done? A semicolon is expected there. So then this semicolon is not supposed to be there. Yeah, that looks like it fixed it. Best overload does not have a parameter. This is the wrong type, isn't it? Yeah, this is the wrong type. There should be battle map location data. Hey, Bedro. I am indeed back, and now so are you. In a few weeks, I'll send out a playable build again. I'm ready for the doubt, or at least as ready as one can be. I've been through the cycle many times. My consolation is that people have no taste and will like whatever you put in front of them most of the time anyway. I think the difficulty for a game is getting people with no taste to find your game. Hey, typical. I see you've changed your name now that you've gotten a job. Nice to see it. Your identity is evolving with your Twitch name. All right, so I got to do this like a million times, right? And this is going to be kind of annoying. You know what would make this easier is if I did this. Whoops. Yeah, nice. Now we open up all instance data over here too, and then we can just keep them next to each other. What was it before? It was typical jacked guy, and before that it was typical fat guy. So he went from fat to jacked to hard worker. And this was when he started going to the gym, and I said, hey, you should change your name from fat guy so that you don't internalize that as your identity. That doubt relapse happens too much with me. Yeah, it's tough to avoid it. You know, one of the things I've heard people say for pretty much all of my life is that no one knows what they're doing. But more and more lately, I've started to realize that no one knows what they're doing. I think we all have a very narrow range of expertise. And even within that expertise, it's easy to doubt yourself sometimes. I'm not trying to make a larger statement here like people should know what they're doing. I guess the statement is it's natural to have imposter syndrome. I said I want to stream web dev, so I made a new account. You could have kept the same account and just changed the name. That is a thing. Did you? Wow. Like I said one time, I'm just a dumb guy pretending to be a smart guy. I mean, I think that's a lot of us. All right, so let's look at what's different over here. So this takes in the challenge mode ogre, which doesn't have special data, and then drops the same potion. and I can't reuse the flavor text and everything. Oh well. And now what about the volcano? Volcano has different items. So we put those here. But it has the same number of bats. It has everything else the same. Yes. Okay, now the jungle. 2 blue worms, 1 blue plant, 2 blue worms. Then all the items are different. Okay. Easy peasy so far. Crypt has 1 dragon and 1 rage blade. Yep. Oh, I'm going to need to modify all this data. I got to write this down. Make sure the bone mode configurations are the same as story mode when they can be. I have placeholder data to put volcano bats in most of the locations in bone mode. You might never understand how much these name changes meant to me all the time. I think they're important. Yeah, I think they're important. I truly think that how you identify yourself matters quite a lot. Like if you were to ask me, if someone comes up to you and hey, is like, what's your deal? I could say I'm a software engineer, right? That's part of my identity. I could say like I'm whatever, I don't know, a person who lives in Washington. Like any bit about you forms your identity, but what you bring to the top of it, I think can be positive or negative. If you say I'm a fat person as the top of your identity, which I mean, by the way, I'm saying this stuff about fat person because this person's name was typical fat guy before this, and I was like, hey, if you're working out, you probably shouldn't have this as your name. So yeah, I think it's important to align what you want to achieve with how you're talking about things. All pretending in our own unique way, though. Yeah, that's true. Funny, in my day job, I actually rarely have imposter syndrome. Really only happens when I work on personal projects that I want to eventually release. Huh, I'm kind of surprised. I wonder how much of that is bolstered by just what people expect of you at work. And thanks, Pedro. My BF is probably sick of me constantly telling him to talk positively about himself when he says something negative, but I'll never stop. Yeah, I don't think you should stop. I mean, unless you're really bothering him. But otherwise, it's like, I think people aren't aware of how negatively they speak sometimes. And I think, and kind of a tangent to this, but I think venting has a purpose and not everyone realizes when they're venting and when they're not. Like in my mind, venting is complaining and you feel better afterward. I think in a lot of other people's minds, it's just this bit. It's just complaining. Like, oh, I'm venting. I don't think it's venting at that point if you're not feeling better after the complaint. Some things truly are just like, oh, hey, the line was long at the grocery store. You complained about it and now you feel good. You're like, oh, I gave the right amount of attention to this topic. But other times you hear people say the same sorts of complaints for like weeks on end. It's like, that's not venting anymore. That's just ranting. When you're playing Among Us and the imposter goes into an event, you know it. Okay, so anything else that needs to change here? Crypt, Rage Blade. No, I think this is all the same. That's what caused me to write another note. What about this? The loot definitely changed. What about the number of enemies? 3 and 2. No, those are the same. One of these changed. I think it was the Deep Forest. So we better notice a change for this. This is 7 and 5. And then also the loot changed. I think. Yeah, it definitely changed. And then finally the Inferno. We might have changed something here too. 4122. That looks the same. 6-2 and 6-3. Those are all the same. So this must be different. Yeah. Great. And then the fishing pond must be identical. Yeah. Okay. So we have now fixed everything in this file. No, not everything. But I can delete all these comments. All right. So now what do we do here? We used to get instance data. Now it's battle map location data. And we would call validate. Now we need to validate the data. Public void validate. Yep, that's it. Okay. I don't have a get client thing. What are you looking for exactly? It's going back to your earlier stream. Wow. I wonder, is it because you left the stream open between the morning and afternoon streams? Because I wonder if that's a bug they just never even thought about. If that is the case, you should probably report that. Oh, that's just going to be a lot of your time taken to figure out how to report it. My brother said, "Why are you watching Linus Tech Tips, cousin?" Yeah, I just used the terminal and I guess VS Code. I'll have to watch another stream for a bit and came back. Yeah, it's still strange. Okay, so this is now fixed. What about this? Print expected. Okay, so battle map location data. Maybe a little bit annoying to figure out. Level. I'm just not going to print the level. Now item drops. We get this from regular instance item drops. And I guess we could, okay, you know what? I can control Z this. I can get this from the regular instance data. Although at this point, we might as well just get out the regular instance data. Regular instance data equals that. Get the explicit type. Replace that and replace that. Now we get item drop data and add it all up. Yeah, that looks nice. Hey, Mr. Halsey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? What do you think about Android development? In terms of what? Because I think when it comes to what do you think about like X development, whatever it is, I think it could be like, is it easy? Is it profitable? Have you done it? Is there a good job market or something like that? Like you could ask anything about it. How's the tech? Yeah, how is the technology itself? So, yeah, what exactly do you want to know about Android development? At least my thoughts about it. Busy with work and health. Is it good health stuff? Like, are you exercising? Is that what you're talking about? Or are there health scares? All right, any other red here? Battle map, location data. Cannot implicitly convert type. This isn't get data? Oh, that needs to change. And then that needs to change. TMJ. I looked this up before, right? This is... Yeah, Lockjaw. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear about that. Also, Googling it just has a bunch of people looking like this and they're in pain. uh, job market is good. How's the tech stack? I think that using Kotlin and Android Studio is pretty good. By the way, full disclosure, I worked on Android Studio. And I think Kotlin's a pretty good alternative to Java if you're targeting the JVM. Seems like a nice language. So yeah, I think that's reasonable enough. Now that said, have I made an Android app from start to finish? Like a real one? No, I've only made little demo Hello World ones. So I don't know what that experience is like, but I imagine it's got to be pretty good. What do you think about IoT engineering? I don't know if you just heard my little spiel about what do you think about something, but yeah, is there a more specific question? I'm happy to answer it. I just don't know what exactly you want to know about. You're the Jeff Goldblum of Twitch, IMHO. All right, let's add it to the Goldblum list. Done. Hey, Tim. How you doing? How's your game coming along? What do you mean you worked on Android Studio? Like you developed it? Like the job I had before streaming this time around was I was at Google. And what I was doing at Google was working on Android Studio. I'm not saying I was a major part of it. I was, one employee out of many. So this isn't instance data anymore. And this apparently won't even work. No, it will work. This is just Git. Yuck. It's called all instance data. Ugh. I might need to rename this. Put this over here. To do maybe rename this. All instance data dot get returns battle map location data now, which is a bit of a misnomer. What button did I work on? I'm not sure if that's a joke question or not. I mostly worked on an automated test framework for other teams working on Android Studio when I was there. And I did some other kind of minor stuff, but this was the bulk of the work that I did. What was the final decision regarding the game's languages? It's all in the translate doc, or at least I think it's all in the translate doc. Single-handedly spearheaded development. The company would have crumbled without me. All right, has unlocked location with waves. This is going to be regular instance data. I still haven't finished all the errors in this file. What is this? Roll drops once. Oh man. Oh man. All right, we gotta figure out if you beat the boss or not. So where do we call this? Just from here, generate drops. And where do we call this? From 2 locations, 3 locations? This is not good. This is definitely not good. Do I still do leak code? No, I don't do leak code anymore. I stopped doing leak code the second I was accepted into the company. Actually, that's not true. I conducted interviews while I was there, so I did need to brush up on some of that stuff again. This whole week I heard seniors talking about fixing buttons in morning meetings. Oh, I see. I thought the joke was basically that every button essentially represents like some big feature stack. So that if I were to click this, for example, it's like, did I work on this whole feature? But yeah, I see. All right, well, this stuff needs to change. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So yeah, we got to pass in a Boolean here. And I used a Boolean before, maybe like is fighting elite or something like that. Is that what I called it? No. What did I call it? I could have sworn I made this somewhere. I guess if I look at the diff lines of code, I should find it pretty easily. Well, it's not in any of those. Wait, what? It's nowhere. Did I hallucinate this? Didn't I add a Boolean to a function somewhere? I just want to find out what I called that Boolean. There, no, that's the one I just typed right now. Oh no. I am going nuts. Oh, there it is. Use elite data. I found it. Hey, M2. Things are going pretty well. How are you doing? How has everything been? Just want to make sure I didn't miss any chat. I'll have to lose more Dota games before bed. Expect some Jado Fest pictures in the Discord next week. Yeah, awesome. Well, good luck in Dota. And have fun at Godot Fest. MLL. You got me. You got me. So I think use elite data is probably worse than something else. I don't know what else. Get max number of adventurers. Use elite data. Is elite. Is elite. Is that better? I don't know if it's better. All right, so roll drops once. It had to pass in is elite. Then this would have to take in is elite. And then this would have to pull from the correct instance or the correct location based on whether it's elite or not. So what is item drops? Oh, it doesn't even exist. It is a read-only list of item drops? What? Why is this not loot? Oh, because there's a min-max. All right, fine. So item drops. This is so bad. I should have a way of getting the drops from... Let me take a look at this. Alive and kicking. Been a busy few months. Took a break from Twitch and things. Starting a few big work projects. Nice, nice. Yeah, I also kind of took a pretty big break from watching Twitch. I've been streaming on it for a while, but I used to have it incorporated in my schedule to actually like hang out in people's streams. And I totally dropped that. And I think I'm going to try to pick it up again in a bit and just kind of see, because I have some work I want to do too, and it's nice to have something on in the background. How are y'all feeling about using code AI gave you in your work? I don't mind it, but I mostly only use it for autocomplete, where I'm just validating the single line that it's writing as it's writing it usually. I used it the other day to modify a whole bunch of files, but it was very slow. And those changes were changes that were incredibly straightforward to make. All right, so I've got a couple of instances of this. This is going to take the rest of the day, by the way. Even just getting this stuff to work. I'm making a pretty big change to this. So where's that to do I had about fix this line of code? Yeah, here. This is to get data and fall back to the base data that we have. If it's elite, we should just have this data. This should just be an exclamation mark. Why is that? Why is that the case? Is this not valid? I'm confused by that. Oh, because it's in base data? Did I delete something from here? That isn't even... Oh, no, it is there. All right, I am very confused. Why? Why can't I write this? Why is this red? Does not contain a definition for maximum adventurers, accepting a first argument of type. I think this is one of those things where I just need to rebuild. And it's not going to build because there are a bunch of errors, but it might at least fix this one problem. It's nothing like asking AI to generate you code or anything. I use it somewhat to see if I can get refactored code, see if I can improve the performance. I've only really done that once, I think, when I made the metrics server I needed to make for this game. And it was a very straightforward Python script. So I tend to just use AI for straightforward stuff. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And with the straightforward stuff, it's like I'll glance at it and verify very quickly if it's doing what I want it to do. All right, this I am absolutely baffled by. Why does this not work? This has maximum adventurers on it. What could I possibly be missing? Elite instance state. Oh, wait, are there two different ones? No, there aren't two different ones. Oh, value? Oh my God. Value.maximum adventurers. Because it's a record struct. Okay, so this is stupid. Since when is there a well command? It's been there for a very long time. And how do you press L? Yeah, this isn't good. Value.maximum adventurers. And we do something like that. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. How's Friday treating you? It's been really good. I came up with a solution for how we're going to get more bosses into the game. Like originally we only had this number of locations that you see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. and there were only 2 bosses, but we want 8 bosses. And the problem is a boss location was only used by a boss. So essentially we only had 6 locations. So if we're going to add 6 more bosses, we'd have 0 locations. So now a place will double as a boss location and a regular location if it can have a boss. So that makes me Mr. Solution Man. By the way, I'm trying to time my ad breaks with my actual breaks. So I will be taking a break in the next like 20 seconds. Let me just write where I left off here, which was on here somewhere. Yeah, we'll drop once. Okay. All right, I will be back in just a bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. And Depressel's in the lead. Depressel's going to jump. Where's he going to jump to? He's got 5 seconds left. Oh, he goes straight up. Oh, no, he's falling back down to a height of 2.1K. Is he going to make it? Oh, 2.1K it is. Well, good job, Depressel. Close the game. Yeah, so the ad break and jump time at the same time is intentional. I know nobody likes ads, but I think especially nobody likes ads when I'm still doing my normal content during that time and then people miss it. So I figured I might as well force myself to take some breaks and time them with the ads. So that's what we're doing. Value.basedata.item drops. Then use the item drops and we're good. Thanks for participating. Find instances that drop item. We should only ever look at the regular item drops for this, I guess. All right. So you know what would be nice is if this data structure that I made, where is it, instance data, had a way of fetching the elite data if it existed. So if there was like a public instance data, rename me, get elite data if exists. Return. Oh, thank you, Xyletics. That is very kind of you too. Has value. Elite instance data dot value dot base data, otherwise regular data. Why does this not work? Oh, I see. Or return the regular data. And then what? This needs a... No, something's wrong. Is this a function? No, it's just a bool. Am I missing this? Wait, no, we know it has value, so there's no question mark needed here. Yeah, that's why. Even a mentor, you could say. Everyone really was watching. Everyone being Xyletics. The only person who matters in a Pressel's life. Are these properties were appropriate? I'd like to not do that. Because I know I can do that. I could just say like elite data. But I like this better. I'll just suppress this. Whoopsie. I don't know what I just did. Okay. I meant to suppress it here. No, that's a one-way thinking of while sweaty. I don't think a Pressel thinks of me while working out. Oh, I guess this is what it did. It modified this file. And I don't want it to modify this file. All right, well, we're getting there. So now I can use that to change this down here. Get elite data if exists. Yeah, sure, that works. I don't think I thought about you. Do you ever watch Twitch from the gym? Because I feel like a pretty easy time to watch something is if you're doing cardio. Because a lot of times you're in a static position and you're typically in a place where you can, well, I guess if you're at the gym, you're in a static position. And typically there's a stand to put your phone and a quarter slot to donate to your favorite streamer. Only 1 out of 100 times, usually podcast or music. I see. I see. Well, I feel betrayed. That was a trick question and you've answered incorrectly. All right, so we still need to fix all these other things. I wonder how many errors there are now, though. I still expect there to be a lot, but not 60. So what's going on? What is going on? I don't even know where you find the output of this thing. How do I not know this? Yeah, wow, I don't know. All right, let's just try running rebuild. Maybe it'll just show me. There it is, 29. Get my stream playing back at your place. Where is this showing up? What is going on? I don't know how to find. Oh, there it is. Okie dokie. I got it. Okay, so we got to go through all of these, and they may not be easy to do. So battle map marker, update tooltip. If it's elite, we get an elite specific thing. We need to know right on the marker what we're going to be getting. Man, I'd like to just run the game again. So to do pull in the elite data if the boss is showing. So we're going to change this to just regular instance data. And then this is elite doesn't exist anymore. Something needs to know this. Is elite equals false, I guess. To figure out how to store this properly. to do. Man, I think my squat form has gotten like terrible. I've injured myself a lot lately. And I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. What's weird is I don't know why this would happen all of a sudden. Like maybe it was always bad and now some other component of my lifestyle is causing me to get injured from it. Well, Adam's stream pretty much is heavy metal, so it's one and the same. I guess you agree with all those other people. This can't be null because the first instance is always unlocked, and we check for that above. All right, what is this doing? Data that is elite. So I guess we're pulling this from here. But why are we doing this? No, we're getting new data here. What did this used to say? Instance data. Instance data is different from data. Is this the next one? Yes, this is previous data. And there's no telling if it was elite. Okay, no, this is just gonna say the same thing no matter what. Oh man. All right, for now, how about this? Let's just say text plus equal to do, I need to fix this. And I'll say this here. We used to have two cases. One, the previous instance only held an elite that you had to defeat. And two, the previous instance was a regular one they had up here, the portal 4. Now we have two types of instances, regular and combined, and need to handle both cases. Yeah, I'm not going to try to handle both cases here. Let's just delete this. Okay. Well, now instead of 29 errors, we should have 28 or something. 25. All right, we just got to keep working through all of these. Let's go to this one next. Get elite specific tooltip text. So what is this called? This is battle map location data, instance data. And then we want to go from the instance data and get the elite instance data dot value dot monster name. And then get its flavor text. All right, so how about we just pull this stuff out and do its own thing? What is this? Elite instance data there. There, then replace this and this. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going through this one at a time. We were at 25, now we're at 22. All right, set up rewards container. This is gonna be annoying is what this is gonna be. I mean, we could do this based on the regular data, but we need 2 rewards containers per location. There's another way we could have done all of this stuff, I guess. But I think the way we're doing it is fine. I did design this before doing it. All right, let's figure out how this works. So each battle map marker has 1 rewards container. We're going to need it to have 2 rewards containers now, I think. So this should just say regular instance data. And I might need it to do here We may need 2 rewards containers per location now. All right. I'd love to get to the point where I can run the game again. So instance data could not be found. This is now battle map location data. Also, I should probably search for this and replace all of these. This is where we are. Search for that and fix the name of the variable everywhere. Long time no see. Man. Yeah, every once in a while this thing hits me where I want to just put in more hours on Skeleseller, but it's not a matter of being able to put in the hours. It's like I have to take a break so that I can be recharged. And I think today's been going very well. There's been good progress. I was on vacation before this week, and I think that helped out a lot. And I wonder if next week or the week after, we're going to have a lot more kind of grindy work, if it's going to wear me down. This reminds me of something that N. Perry said a long time ago on my stream. I was talking about, I don't know, I was talking about some kind of constants, and he made a joke that I was talking about a person named Constance. I can't remember what he said exactly, but what you said here just dislodged that memory from years ago, only partially, of course. Burnout is always a solid idea. The thing is, like, if burnout was preceded by very high productivity, it might actually be beneficial in some cases. But I think in a lot of cases, it's preceded by poor work, and then you burn out. So it's like a double whammy of I did bad work, and now I can't do any more work of any quality. All right, so get instance info. This has got to be for whether or not we're in the elite version. Pool is elite. So we want to get that. Is there a way we can say to get it? Let's just get elite data if it exists. So maybe what I want is like get data. Pool is elite. Yeah, this is a nice way of doing it. So now this could say return get data true. Can I delete this? I don't think I actually can. Slow and steadily usually beats the race. Yeah. I agree. I think burnout is bad not just because of you've probably done bad work and you need to take a break, but usually because the break you need to take, if you feel burned out, is longer than a normal break you would have needed to take if you hadn't felt burnt out. So this is the same thing as saying an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you just stop yourself from getting to burnout, it's much better. I do have questionable takes on burnout. I'm not saying we should glorify it or anything. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be better if it was like sprinting right at the end of a race? But it's not that. It's insidious. Okay, so I like this function, which now means get data might be all we need in some cases. Is elite. I'll just find all of them. This is going to be broken. This is all going to be broken. Oh boy. All right. Well, where do we leave off? Because I just wrote this function, but I don't remember why I wrote it. And this should hopefully remind me. Yeah, here it is. So now instance data is not what this is. This is battle map location data. And the instance data is going to be battle map location data get data is elite, which we can then use over here. Nice. Now what's this? Max adventurers. Doesn't this now take in is elite? Yes, it does. Do we have that? Yes, we do. This, I guess, is just that. And then room count. It comes from here. According to the internet, I should be permanently burned out. So either I am, in which case burnout isn't all that bad. I don't feel horrible. Or for some people, it just doesn't work like that. I think it doesn't work like that for almost anybody. If you're talking about like hustle culture, I think that it is meant to enrich whoever's proselytizing that. So if someone is honestly saying you should work 12 hours a day or something, and it's not some extenuating circumstances, they're probably trying to sell you something or somehow profit off of you. I guess it could be your employer. All right, so I should be down to fewer than 21 errors now, I think. Somehow the number went up. You take one down, you pass it around. 108 bottles of error on the wall. There's no argument given that corresponds to required parameter is elite. Yeah. Where's this got to come from? Battle map marker. Yeah, so I'll just write bool is elite equals false. Oh, I already had this. Nice. Okay. 5x best, sometimes 6x, balance, sustainability. Yeah. It's interesting because I do think you can get burned out on things you enjoy too. Like with a gym, you are exerting a lot of physical energy. But if you're even just playing a video game, I look at speedrunners or I look at professional gaming streamers, and especially around like World of Warcraft, back when there's a new launch, people really do no life the game. They'll play for like 3 or 4 or 5 days, mostly straight. A lot of them will take a 2-hour nap or something here and there. It's like you're ruining your body to try to get to level 60 in a video game. But also, is it fun for them? Is it just, I don't know. There are a lot of factors in those cases because there's money on the line. So it's like they're getting paid more. The viewership is typically higher and everything too. No, I'm more so talking about the slow and steady people. I love working in sprints. Sometimes I just hyper focus for a few very intense days or weeks, and then I like to take a break of being a lazy potato. People want to stop working every day at 6 p.m. Otherwise, I'll burn out, apparently. Oh, I want you to stop working. Oh, I see. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. So I don't think you're burning out. I also don't think you need to change anything. But if you were to take, let's say on those potato days, if you were to then work 12 hours, you probably would burn out. And then you'd probably also know what burnout feels like at that point. But yeah, I think there are a couple different levels of burnout. There's like an oops, I did too much. And an oops, I hate my career. And I've heard of both of these happening to people. And in this case, it's usually like minimally a year to fix it. At least that's what I've seen from the few people. I don't have a lot of data points here. But yeah, I've heard this from a few people who've just been like, I just did too much. I just kept going. I don't want to do computer stuff anymore. Yeah, as Alex just mentioned, pretty much the same thing. Hey, Leap Year Girl. I was told I might have burnout. And I was like, but I don't have a job. The psychologist was like, you can burn out on life. Yeah, I think you can burn out on anything. Also, I think burnout can be like roughly equivalent to depression in some cases. If you're just talking about your career, it might not be depression exactly, but yeah, burnout on life could be. What is my keyboard name? It's a corn keyboard. Corne. Careers in corporate can suck the life out of you. Yeah, they're basically vampires. All right, grant random items. So I guess we'll just set that to false. Generate drops, grant forest items. We'll also set this to false. I'll just keep trying to run this. We should be down to 19 errors. Yay. Okay, so this is battle map location data. And from this, we want to get the correct instance data. This is initializing a walking to portal. So we need to know whether this is elite. Oh, man. Yeah, it's just got to be passed in, which I guess means we don't need the data anymore. Are we using this? No. Oh, hey, thanks for the resub, Galaxy Inferno. Thanks for life advice and keeping company while I learn to take notes. Happy to help. Happy to be the target of your money. No, I've said this a bunch of times before, but in my mind, it's game dev is the top priority, and streaming is like down here somewhere. And that also means money from streaming. So I always appreciate it. I want people to be able to watch without ads, but if you want to spend your money elsewhere, if you want to support another streamer, if you don't want to spend any money on Twitch, all that's fine. I'm even trying to help the people who don't want to spend money by taking breaks during the ad time, so you don't miss anything. Hey again, says Ramara. Look who's back, the sellout. Haven't heard the sub noise. Not sure if it's just me. I am not sure either. I'll look into that this weekend, maybe, if I have some time. See if sub noises are still working through the stream. Maybe something broke. I just copy pasted the thing about your keyboard to your Discord server. Somebody asked in 2 channels what your keyboard was. Oh, cool. Okay, thank you. How did I become a game dev? Game dev is kind of how I started with coding. So yeah, back when I was about 13, I just started being interested in making games. Actually, I shouldn't say I started being interested. I was probably interested before that, but roughly when I was 13 is when I found out it was possible for me to do. That's why I'm somewhat envious of kids nowadays. Like, you're kind of surrounded by computers or phones or tablets, and having the internet is not a difficult thing. And finding just the massive amount of resources for learning, really anything, not just programming, it's just so much easier, and it's generally free. Like, I remember buying books, and I remember, I don't know, just a whole bunch of things that are not the case now. And even just standardizing things. Like, if you want to plug in your keyboard to another person's computer now, you can be reasonably confident it's going to be USB A or C. And yeah, but back then you would have like a PS2 connector on some computers and not on other ones, and maybe it was USB, but you had all the USB ports taken already or something, and I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of things that just got a little bit easier. So if I were a kid nowadays, I might have started even earlier. And as a result of starting earlier and having more resources, I might have been able to learn a little bit more back then. But yeah, I had to sort of cobble something together until I finally got to really, college was the first time I could properly learn this stuff. I remember in high school, they just started having some programming classes, but they were taught by like the math teacher or the chemistry teacher. And that's not a zing against them. It's just like they weren't trained in this stuff. It's not like they have 10 years of experience and could say, oh, here's why you shouldn't do things that way. They were just like, well, here's what I've done in my little experience. And I appreciated that knowledge, but I wanted more. And like I said, I couldn't really get it until I was in college. I guess it's only a 4-year gap there, but still. How old did I say I was? How old am I now, you mean? Because how old am I now is answered by this right here. But how old did I say I was? I was about 13. Or unless you mean when I started college. College was at 17, I think. But this is just a when's your birthday in the year kind of thing, whether you start college at 17 or 18 in the US. If you're going to start college at all right after high school. Beg to differ. My sister's studying to do another kind of job. She used to be a hairdresser. Her new career involves relatively simple computer work, typing and putting stuff in proper folders. She absolutely hates it. She avoids computers in her daily life. I'm not saying people will definitely like it. I'm just saying that if you want to learn now, it's easier than like 20 years ago or something like that, or 40 years ago or 60 years ago, any amount of time. It just keeps getting easier and easier to learn. I think the amount of resources out there have just ballooned. Started messing with a game maker around that age. Yeah, that sort of thing is, I think it's good to get that experience. And it's nice that there are things that are tailored to either newcomers, people new to coding, or people who are very experienced. There's a lot of the whole draw the rest of the owl going on with some of the tutorials that I remember reading. It was like you learn about a game engine, they're like, okay, now you know everything. And I was like, no, I don't. What am I supposed to do? All right, so we have is elite. That means that this needs to be changed. If it's not your thing, it'll be very difficult. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. All I'm saying is I think it's easier in terms of getting access to resources and also in terms of getting access to computers. Like you could imagine 30 years ago, not even having a computer in your household. And now it's very common to have at least one computer, but probably many computers if you count tablets and everything too, or your phone. Honestly, even phones are capable of learning a lot of this stuff or using it to learn a lot of this stuff. Didn't pick up programming until the end of high school. Yeah, and I think it's sort of like anything the kids can get into, and that the earlier you do it, I think the more you'll catch on or the more quickly you'll catch on. With programming, I've heard, and I don't know this, I'm not an expert on child psychology or intelligence or anything, but until you're like 10 or 11, that this sort of abstract thought involved in programming is pretty difficult. So as an 8-year-old, you can probably be like, oh, when I set it to blue, it turns blue. When I set it to red, it turns red. But like working your way through for loops or functions or something might be harder. Now, again, I have no idea how true that is. And I don't think it really matters too much. But yeah. All right, so create walk into portal. So this also probably needs to pass in is elite. And something up this call stack needs to be able to provide this. This is an instance slot. Yeah, an instance slot on its own won't know if it's elite. Right? It won't, or will it? Something we need to tell it. So either I have an instance ID for even boss locations, which I mean, I guess I could have done. If it's not your thing, it'll be very difficult. Oh, yeah. I think I already read that. Saying 2 PCs and a MacBook is too much. Yes, definitely too much. 3 computers too much. Meanwhile, I'm just here because I was a huge math nerd. I really like that about any sort of computer stuff, though, is that you have people coming from any background into computers and they can still be successful. I've worked alongside people who had no degree, an English degree, an electrical engineering degree, and all sorts of other things. And I would not say that you could tell what someone's background was, at least not in this sense, just based on their ability on the job. It all just matters how much do they care about learning, how hard of a worker are they. So you like to make games, but at some point you went to college, I assume. You got jobs in software engineering. So how did game dev become? Oh, how did that path come? So here's what I would say. If you haven't seen this video that I made about, wait, right? This is, hang on, let me make sure this is the right video. Yeah. So if you haven't seen that video about why I left Google, I think that contextualizes a lot about my feelings about corporate jobs. And it's kind of hard to give a short answer here, but the short answer is I feel repelled by corporate jobs. I have a drive to make games, and I have the opportunity now to make games. And I think it's like a combination of that stuff. And as far as forming a company myself, I think a lot of this has to do with having creative control, choosing the tech I work with, the people I work with. I'm not sure if I'm like fully answering your question. I'm not trying to dance around the point or anything. Hey, Belazis. But yeah, it was a combination of interest and opportunity to be able to do this. Brain still likes books more than newfangled things. Yeah, yeah. And I get that. I think I don't think many ways of learning have been snuffed out. So if you want to learn from books, I think there are still plenty of books. And in fact, I think more of those books are probably free now than would have been free back then, although libraries have always existed. Hey, burn dev. Some corporate jobs are nice, but it's really hit or miss. Yeah, and it also depends on your viewpoint on the job. If you look at it as I hate corporate jobs and then you're in a corporate job, you're probably going to hate that job. But if you look at it as like, oh, well, I like the people I'm working with, I like the, I don't know, work structure, impact, and which technologies do I work as a game developer? I'm only using Godot and C# right now. So that's it. But over the years, I've worked in a bunch of different engines and languages, and it's not like, okay, well, all of that led to me deciding that this is the best ever. It's just this is probably the best for right now. Man, there's a lot I'm going to have to do to change this stuff. There is so much here. Is elite. $251.5. Time flies. It really does. It really, really does. Oh man, I don't like any of this. Is there some better way to do this? I was gonna say if we could just specify an instance ID of like forest or forest boss, it would make things a lot easier. All we're essentially doing though is baking in a Boolean into an enumeration, which I don't know if that's any better. Oh, that does feel slightly better. So option 1 is bake whether or not we're fighting a boss into the enumeration. Canyon boss, etc. And option 2 is just pass a Boolean along. So instance ID is forest or canyon, and then bool is boss. I'm not sure what I prefer. Either way, we're going to be changing a bunch of code. Do you think C# and Unity is good for beginners in game dev? I think depending on the definition of beginner here, the answer could be yes. But let's say you don't like coding, for example, then I'd say I'd probably steer towards something that's more like maybe like Unreal and Blueprints, or any number of engines that are like no or low coding engines. Because that's the hang up for a lot of people, is like, oh, C# versus something like Python versus something like, yeah, Blueprints. If even Python seems difficult for someone, I mean, I might say still learn Python, but maybe start with Blueprints and see if you like game dev anyway. My general philosophy on learning is to cut out everything that's unfun for yourself at first, just to see if you even like the thing you're trying to learn. So for game dev is already such a wide field. When you think of, you've got graphics, you've got sounds, you've got the actual gameplay, you've got the design of the game, you've got like a billion other things here. And you might determine, okay, I like this part and this part. I don't like this part. I don't like this part. So at the end, you're like, okay, well, I like graphics and gameplay. It's like, okay, that might steer you toward a particular thing such that you can cut out learning the whole sounds and game design and, I don't know, animations and whatever else you might be doing. What do you think about Unity and Playmaker? Is Playmaker that Unity thing for Blueprints? I think I've heard of this, but yeah, visual scripting. I haven't ever used this myself, but I would say to give it a shot. I don't know how good it is. I don't know what games have been made in it, but if you're just learning, I don't think you should worry about any of that stuff. And that's part of my whole, like, just cut out all the unfun stuff. Like, don't worry about, will this work? Just worry about, like, am I learning and am I having fun? And then after you've learned enough, you'll be able to figure out whether a particular thing will work. But I think a lot of people focus at first on like, I'm going to make my dream game. And it's like, you're probably not going to make your dream game if you don't know any game dev at first. enumeration route would get my vote. Booleans always feel limited later if you need to change for some reason. Yeah, but we're baking the Boolean into the enumeration. And I think the more important thing is anywhere that we're using instance ID now needs to accommodate having an instance ID that refers to something that doesn't have data, maybe. Oh, man. Like I need to look through. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of these. I need to look through these and make sure that nothing is going to break. Sheets menu, get valid values. Let's see. We have instance ID to battle map location data. I guess we could have just tracked whether something was elite or not. Like this is going to be a problem. You're not going to be able to get data for a particular instance. We'd have to return. Yeah, I don't think I like this just because of what it represents. These don't really represent distinct options. It's like a sub option of a particular thing. Need to like the process, not just the outcome. Yeah, and I think it's tough when you're starting out because you won't really have much of an outcome at first. So you first need to like shortcut your way to figuring out, do I even enjoy this? I kind of said that backwards. Sorry. Anyway, I think I'm leaning toward the Boolean here, and that's what my mind is on. But I'm going to create a bunch of other problems for myself by doing this. And in the process, I'm going to be going up in error numbers. So fishing map is always going to have this set to false for is elite. Wonder if I should put this here. All right, what's this? Unlock next location. Previous instance had one room. Okay, for this we can just get the regular instance data. All right, making some progress. Create enemy battlers. This we need to know whether this is elite. We don't know this right now. Something needs to know this. Is there an is elite Boolean? No, we never had a reason to do this before. We have the instance ID. We don't even have that. Never mind. Oh, we have the instance. I see. Yeah, we would need to know whether or not this is elite. All right. Protected bool is elite. Get private set. And then initialize this with that, I guess. And then in here, we can use this correctly. So this is going to be get data is elite. Yeah. Now we go down to the next one. All right, what are we looking at here? Create an instance. Let's just always create the one that is not elite. What am I doing wrong here? This needs to be get data false. Isn't this not how this even works? No, this is not how this works. It's okay. What am I doing wrong here? Town.player abilities false. What is this? Oh, it's the other order. Oh my God. I put the Boolean after these in so many other cases. I just wasn't paying attention. And in this case, we want to set is elite to false. Great. Yeah, we're just funneling this all over the place. All right, total number of stages in a particular instance. I guess the instance should know whether it's elite, not the battle system. So yeah, this was not smart. Is elite, get private set. Does init pass it in? It does not. So battle system doesn't have this anymore. We delete it, delete it. Is elite in here? Or we could do it, we could still do it this way. And just take it from the instance. Seems kind of stupid though. So I'll delete it and put it into regular battle system. Yeah, here it is. That better never be null. It doesn't say anything about it being null. Yeah, it's set here and never unset, I'm guessing. Thank goodness. All right, let's try building. How many errors do we have? It says 1, but that's just because I'm missing a comma. It should be like 18 or something. It's 18. Okay, when you beat an instance for the first time, what did we use to fetch for this? Figure out whether it's elite. You just have an instance ID. We need to pass in the instance now. We don't have the instance. Oh, man. All right, well, unended battle can just pass it in, I suppose. This won't even have it? Oh my goodness. The instances manager has it. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so we need to change this. Yeah. Part of me does wonder if I'm doing something stupid here. Again, in the old style of doing things, the way that we had it was a location on the map was either elite or not. And in the new style, a location on the map can either never be elite or it could be elite. So if it's never, then it's always going to be false. And if it's could, then it's that you can choose the regular battle or the boss battle. There are a couple of different ways we could change the assumptions being made here. Like, we could have made bosses be outside of the current locations. Well, that would cause its own set of problems. And what else could we do here? Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. So anyway, yeah, in the old style, you would go to a place on the map here. So like the canyon, this always had a skull, meaning it was elite. So every time you chose this location, we knew you were battling a boss. Now we're only going to know if a boss showed up and you chose to battle them, which is based on what the user decides. Boolean option of maybe along with true and false. There are if you're talking about like an optional value, there's pretty much the same sort of thing in C#. But I guess my point was mostly just that like what used to be part and parcel of picking this location is now something that the user chooses. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Thought you were talking about like an optional value, like in Rust or something. Okay, so what do we got to do? We got to go change instance manager. Ended battle. Yeah, here. So this calls battle ended, which then passes in the instance ID. Not anymore. Now it's going to pass in an instance. And the data type takes 1.5 bits. Oh, great. Instance. Ended battle here should probably be called to the instance as well. Then whatever listens for this is going to need to change. So this would be the instance. Any others? There's got to be another listener for this. There are two things to listen for this. Ended battle instance. And the other one is right there. Okay. So now this can get replaced. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, instance ID, instance ID. There we go. Cool. All right, let's keep fixing bugs. We're up to 21 errors. We've been hovering around 20 something for a very long time now. So when you create an instance for the first time, you now need to pass in is elite. There's start battles in the battle simulator. I'm guessing we're just going to assume that this is false. We don't use the battle simulator for a ton right now. How long have I been using C# for? So the first time I used it was probably in like 2010. And then I probably used it again in like 2015. And then I probably used it again in like 2020. And then I started using it again for this project in 2024. So the total number of years has maybe been like 4 years over that time. So depending on which question you're asking, it's either 14 or 4. All right, where is the rest of this? So on beat instance for first time, what is this? We only care about when you beat an elite instance for the first time. So this can't be called with an instance ID. It needs to be called with an instance. Do we have an instance here? We do. Yeah, nice. Okay. This is the largest of your C# projects? Yeah, I think so. It's probably somewhere between like 40 and 50,000 lines of code. It is really just Java, but different? Are there major differences between them? Yeah, I'd say it's just Java, but different. I'd say the biggest difference is what it will run on. So anything written in Java runs on the JVM, and other languages can also compile to the JVM. But that's totally separate from C#. Although maybe people have written something that compiles C# to something that works on the JVM. Is it more similar to Java or C? Definitely Java. Yeah, Microsoft made this language originally, I think, in response to Java's popularity. And it felt very similar to Java back then. Now it still feels similar, but there are enough deviations over the years. Although Java's also evolved. And hey, Phil Powers. All right, so we got this. We got to find the listener of this here. Good. Get the instance. All right, this is being invoked from the town. Why do we do this? Battle panel tab, set augment button. I'm going to pass in the instance. I feel like this is just smarter to do. Let the... No, actually, I guess what we could have done is passed in an ID and the Boolean, but this lets us get any information. Interesting. I've only worked with C and C++ and a little bit of Java in my first semester. Yeah, I do like C#. I generally prefer higher level programming languages. So I dislike C++. I've just never liked C++. C isn't too bad depending on what you're doing, but if you're doing it for like game dev or something, I don't prefer it. If I'm working with something closer to the hardware, I don't mind using C. Like my keyboard key map is in C. I think that's fine. But yeah, in general, I want something that manages memory for me, that I have a lot of like nice utilities in the language. They both give me nightmares. All right, so I think we're going to change this, but I'm still not positive that anything actually cares about the data from here. This uses the ID. I need to look at all these callers. What does this use? Get instances that drop item contain the ID. All right, this only uses the ID as well. What does this use? Battle panel tab. How will we do this? When we keep track of which instances you've beaten, we need to keep track of whether you've beaten the one with the boss or not. We might need to bump the game version for this. I'm gonna write this down. No, wait a second. The way you unlock the next location is by beating the regular. You have to proceed in this order. You have to beat the boss and then the regular version. Yeah. From a lore perspective, does that make sense? Like you go to the volcano and there's a phoenix there, and you beat the phoenix to be able to fight like regular enemies. I guess that's fine. But yeah, it's always going to be that you beat the regular version to move on. You can't move on until you beat the regular thing. I don't think there's a problem with this. I think it's just a tiny bit weird. A lot of times you're fighting through an area, but this is like to even get to the area, you need to beat a boss. Yeah, bosses guard the entrance. I think that's the best way of looking at it. Yeah. And either way, this is what I want. So I think we're fine there. So in this case, whether or not you've beaten an instance, we need to know that you've beaten the boss. And we don't keep track of that. I guess what we could do is we could make two different data structures. We could have one for instances you've beaten and then one for bosses you've beaten. Yeah. Can't talk about lore without slimes. Yeah, there's a slime boss guarding the regular slimes inside. Okay, we probably need to track like instance IDs where boss was beaten in addition to beaten instance IDs. This does make me wonder about the whole just put everything into an enumeration and track whether or not it was elite based on that. Although then I guess we need a we need a function that turns an instance ID into is it elite or not. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, well. All right, the whole reason I did any of this though is because this beat elite for first beat elite instance for first time. No, this one. Beat instance for first time. There's one case, and it's here, where all we do is call set augment button. All right, I think this can still take in an instance ID, so we don't need to change anything. Yeah. All right, so now how does this work? What are we doing here? Level instance ID. What are we doing? We're not even using this here. We're just checking to see if it's elite. So this can just be changed to that. Do we use this at all? We don't? Okay, done. All right, so now we're down to 19 errors. Hopefully this only drops from here on out. So instance has a total number of stages. This is going to be get data is elite. Done. Now we're down to 18. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do, I'll take a quick break. And then we'll come back and fix some more of these. Hopefully we can get the game to run, but there's still going to be some problems there. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. hello again. Close the game. So, still working through errors here. I have about 1 more hour I can stream for, and I'm really hoping that I can get the game to run in that time. Not everything's going to be perfect, but it'd be nice to have a working state. Excuse me. All right, so what is this? On shows instance party. We need to know whether this is elite. Yeah, this is where we need to know, like, what instance did we choose? Which means that whatever called into this now needs to change. Cool. Battle panel tab. How do we know that it was elite? Let's just hard code it for now. Set it to false. Change this based on which button you clicked. Yeah. Orange Ray, good to see you. Thank you for the resub. How is your life going? Create instance. What might be calling you? Is elite. So we need to get the scene path. So what, get data? Nice. All right, let's keep going with this. Generate loot. So this is just here. And then all instance data that generate drops. Is this taken is elite? It does, yeah. Okay, I mean, this got actually slightly simpler. Nice, an actual benefit. All right, looks good. Anywhere else? If adventurers account is greater than the maximum number of adventurers, this is battle map location data. And this is whether or not the instance was elite. Existing slot. Oh, this is not good, is it? Man. How did this work before? We'd get the instance that you're going to create, but then we need to know whether or not that's supposed to be elite. Man. And now we don't need to worry about that. Now what's the problem here? Cannot convert from abilities component to bool. Oh yeah, I put this in the wrong order. It's going okay. Wife and I decided. I was smiling until that one word separate. Working through all the logistics now. It's been an adventure. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I think that even if it's amicable, it's got to be a very, very involved process. Yeah, logistics, I don't know. It's like living situation, possessions, everything. I wish you both the best of luck with that. Yeah. Man. Well, okay, let me ask you this. What are you looking forward to the most when your life settles down? This is the third argument that we have here. Okay, is elite. And then one more. And it was also in this file, and it's here. Almost to an agreement. Issue is the kiddos. It's been a long time coming. Just ready to move on. See what's next for me. Yeah. For what it's worth, and I don't know how this sounds because I think I say the same sort of thing for layoffs a lot of times. People talk about, oh, I got laid off from something. And I always start kind of the same way. For what it's worth, people usually like not only land on their feet, but find something better. And the something in this case, you might think that I'm implying someone, but I don't actually mean that. I just mean, I think if you said it was a long time coming, it's like probably the situation will be better. And then who knows, maybe someone better does come along at some point. But still, I think if something's going poorly in your life, a layoff is not the same case as this, but if something's going poorly in your life, it's like it's better to cut it out sooner, I think. Anyway, still, best of luck. Yeah. I also think it's cases like that where it's like most people do have a support network. I think that's the time to lean on them. If someone's like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. It's like, now's the time. Hey, can you give me company for this? Can you help me out with this or figure this out? Or just, I don't know, want to get some food together. All right, so knit needs an is elite here. Do we have this pass in? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I've already plumbed this through enough stuff now where it's there. We still have more of these though. On request start battle. Called when repeating a battle or when the instance is null when walking to the portal. Something's got to know whether this was elite or not, I guess. I'm going to do this and hope that this works. So now this is going to find other errors here. Man, speaking of getting food, I have eaten all of the leftovers. I need to figure out what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. So create instance. Yeah, so this is where I think we need to pass in a bool is elite. And does this already have it? Yes, it does. All right, so now whatever calls into this needs to know this thing. This is here. This is create new instance slot. This doesn't know whether or not this is supposed to be elite, but it can be told now. Nice. So what's the problem with this? Delegate action bool does not take 0 arguments. Oh, it's passed in from over here. Interesting. So we don't need to do this. How in the world, how does this work? We instantiate this, and then when we start a new battle, we call into this. And there could be a lot that goes wrong here. Indeed, it's a relief to an extent. I'm already resigned to the outcome. I just can't imagine not seeing the kids every day. Yeah, I don't think that part gets any easier. Man. You know, I think there are certain age ranges that you are in that your friends will also be in a certain age range where you see a lot of people like graduate from school, or you see marriages start, you see people buy like houses or apartments or something like that, and then you see marriages end, and eventually, I mean, people die. It gets kind of sadder as life goes on, but yeah, I wonder the sort of clustering of this stuff, like when you see other people go through it, does it make it easier or better? Do you know how to support them? Do they know how to support you better? All right, what are we looking at here? Oh, nice. Okay. All right, I've changed a lot of this. We have to remind ourselves that this is still better than localization changes, if only slightly. So party reached portal, we pass in is elite. And then this takes that in, bool is elite. Calls create instance. Yeah, which is good. Oh, man. 9 errors. Finally getting closer. All right, so start next battle is invoked with an elite, or is elite a boolean there? Good. Same thing with this. Toggled auto repeat. If toggled on, we call start next battle. This is in an instance slot. So can't we get the instance and just check is elite? Possibly null. Oh no. Eventually people die. Way to test health. Remember Memento Mori? All right, this is a very grim Wikipedia page. I'll stop talking about this. Yeah, in early 40s, definitely in the divorce phase. Got 3 other buddies going through them currently. Man. Anyway, part of the reason I'd ask, like, what are you looking forward to the most is because I think in a lot of cases, I kind of think about this with New Year's resolutions. Choosing the new year is a semi-arbitrary point in time. Yeah, it's January 1st. It's kind of significant because it's the first of whatever the next year is. But you could start whatever you're going to resolve to do on any given day. And in essence, it's like a rebirth of something. So when I think of, okay, here's the thing that was part of your life for a while. What are you looking forward to when things change? It's like you will probably have slightly more freedom to decide your schedule, what you're doing, what you're, I don't know, who you're hanging out with, that sort of thing. And I'm not saying it's going to overall be better, but like that aspect will probably be a little bit better. Hey, Vibe, how goes it on this fine Friday? They'd like to remind me all of all their friends passing. Well, I think it's sad. You know, I've kind of thought about this. If you diversify your friend group by age, so like if you think about it, probably when you're a kid, you're at, you know, like plus or minus maybe like 2 years of your age. It's probably your average friend range. And then, but anyway, like if you're, let's say you're 50 years old, I think you should probably have friends who are like 35 to 70. Anyway, that way, when you get to be 70 years old, it's like, oh, well, some of your friends are going to be still working and still, I don't know, doing interesting things in their lives. And that's why I'm going to be a Twitch streamer when I'm 70 years old. That way I can have friends all across the age spectrum and they'll be talking about fun new things. Actually, honestly, what would happen if I were 70 and I were talking to like 25-year-olds, I probably wouldn't be able to relate at all to whatever's going on. They'd be like, this old man's not using hyper AI injected directly into his brain. They wouldn't be saying that. They'd be thinking it. And the hive mind of Gen, whatever they call it at that point, would be agreeing vigorously. Actually, been on dates with 3 different people has been horrible. Okay, I was going to say the finding a significant other. Yeah. Well, they won't all be horrible. I think my personal take is that dating is not all that fun for many people at any age. Like I've had male friends, female friends, any age range. It's like some people have had fun, but I think the majority do not find it fun. And I myself generally did not find it fun. It's one of those, it's like apartment hunting. It's fun at first. Like the first like date or two you go on, I think that's fun. The 7th or 8th date you go on, that's not as fun. If it lasts for longer than that, or to different people at least that you're dating, then it's even less fun. Doing a full rewrite at work, which has been well. Wow, really? Out of curiosity, what prompted the rewrite? Go to a judge and say you feel 20 years younger. This just adjust your age on the passport. Someone actually do that? He's not using brain rot language. He's not using, it'd be like literal brain language at that point. All right, so if this thing doesn't exist, what do I do? Start next battle used to be called with nothing. Wait, how does it make sense for there to be no instance if you could toggle auto repeat though? No, it doesn't make sense. This has to exist. Did I write when it can be null? I did not. When can this be null then? And why would I not write about it? Yeah, why is this nullable? Oh, because you may be walking to an instance. So if you can toggle auto repeat, then it must exist. I should probably write that down. Yeah, that's exactly why. Where is that? I can't find it anymore. There it is. This is null when walking to the portal, since no instance would have been created yet. New way of thinking about the product. We had some rigid requirements to allow a render. By talking to users, we found giving them access to a whole editor makes them confused instead of locking it down such that they're hyper-specific, gets artist minds' gears moving. I see. Okay, yeah. That sounds like a worthwhile rewrite then. It also sounds like a natural evolution of a product as opposed to something you could have known ahead of time. It's like these are the kinds of things you don't realize until you actually test with people. Is null the same as none? In this particular case, no. So we have a bunch of enumerations, and enumerations are basically just like a set of something. So you might have a colors enumeration that has things like red, blue, green, and you can pick these values or a set of values representing something. So we might have colors, and we might have one here that says none, which means it is a color, but we have not assigned it to anything. Whereas null is for any value that could potentially hold nothing, it's holding nothing. So they represent similar things. And how they're handled in memory is also different. So in an enumeration case, this none is actually going to be the value 0. With null, you're going to have, well, I don't want to get too confusing here, but you'll essentially have a pointer to nothing. I will say this, if what I said doesn't make sense, it also doesn't really matter right now. Oh, and by the way, maybe you're talking about in Python. Python has none capitalized. I think this is essentially the Python version of null. So I think this is like roughly the same as C#'s null. So maybe that's what the context of your thing was, in which case, yeah, they're pretty much the same. We assume the users want to be power users and have all the control, but really, they seem to rather be given some sort of tool that works really well. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is very natural that you come up with what you think is an ideal product, and then your users are like, no, 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 this is how I want to use it. And I think that's just product management. Sometimes that'll happen, and there's just no way to know it until you test it with people. Ideally, you haven't committed like 10 years of resources to it before finding out. But still, it's like people will confound you. Trends will change and cause different things to be needed. It's like at one point, YouTube didn't have live streaming. When they finally needed live streaming, they probably weren't like, well, this was a mistake on our part from 15 years ago by not predicting it. It's like, well, it just really wasn't possible back then. The amount of bandwidth people had. Okay, so now that I know this is null, or not null in this case, actually, and that this isn't even needed, we should probably look for this. Doesn't need an argument. This may be the case elsewhere too. Start next battle. Yeah, there it is. Instance, which we know is not null. We know instance can't be null because the auto repeat button is showing. Actually, I'm not even certain that's true, but I can't run the game now to find out. I guess I could run it through Steam or something. Yeah, let's do that. Open exported Mac build. I actually don't recall how this works. Do we show you an auto repeat? So we start a battle. I need the town hall. And then stop the battle because I can't actually do that. All right, so now I start this again. There is an auto repeat. Oh God. Okay, that's not good. That's definitely not good. Man. All right, well, this is If it's null, then we have to track this somewhere else. The instance slot needs to track it of whether this thing was created with is elite. We don't store this anywhere anyway. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And a slot could change from elite to not elite. Very much, yeah, this PM thing is a good idea. Yeah, I think it's good to wear different hats from time to time. Yeah. Yeah, I think the easiest thing I'd say is like, let's say you're working in a programming language that has a concept of objects. So you might have like an animal. And so you make an animal Abby and you, whatever, make a new cat and pass in Abby. A lot of languages that have the concept of null or none or an equivalent thing will let you say, you know what, I just don't have an animal yet. And this is not a valid instance of a cat, for example, or an animal. It's saying like, I just never made one of these yet. So yeah, that's the similar concept in none in Python. Yeah. All right, so how do we fix this thing? We need to know what kind of battle you're starting. Yeah, the instance slot has to track it. There's just no other way. Yeah. Is elite. Yeah, sure thing. I gotta write this. We have to track this for when instance is null. And then we have to change it too. This is a fool. All right, so now start next battle can use that. And that should technically happen all the time. It's whether or not we use the capitalized version. Create walking to portal interstitial. They don't ever have to walk to the portal again. This is technically not needed because we'll already have this here. Okay, let's keep searching for this stuff. What am I doing? Edit party. Here it is. So when you edit the party, what happens here? I gotta trace this through the whole thing and find out what happens. So you call this on edit battle party. This calls into here. This calls into this. We call edit on it. And then eventually in this thing, you call start battle. When you call start battle, it tells it which slot and whether or not it's elite, which then calls into this, which calls into this, which has is elite, but apparently does not use it. Oh no. Yeah, oh no. All right, instance slot dot is elite equals this, and then we need to make this public. What was the other thing? Next instance ID? Where's that? There it is. Okay. Hey, Zizzy. Both have null and undefined. Their implication on the language level are a bit different. In TypeScript, if you have an object with a field that can be number or null, then you don't even have to pass it when constructing the object. Yeah, there are a lot of particulars here. And by the way, Leap Year Girl, I'd say the summary of this is just don't worry about it. Because if you ever do use JavaScript or TypeScript, there will be some cases where you'll need to learn this. But in most cases, you'll ideally code in a way that makes it so that you're sort of safe about this stuff. The short summary of that is every language, even human languages, I guess, have gotchas. And sometimes you can do some bad things without knowing it. And the way I'd liken this in human languages would be things like word choice or grammar or whatever else. You know, you might use a word that sounds like the right word, but it's not actually the correct word. Like idiom and idiot are only off by one letter, but they mean wildly different things. It's like a semi gotcha. Takeaway, don't use JavaScript, stick to Python. Yeah, well, I would say JavaScript at this point is just not a language worth like maining. If you're going to use what would have been JavaScript, use something that compiles to JavaScript. All right, how close are we to getting this to work? I'll be so happy once I master Python. Yeah, I think Python is worthwhile to learn. All right, so what is this? Increase slot size if first time elite battle. So if that. Oh, hey, we have highest level, elite level defeated. Oh, interesting. Actually, we have this. What is this? Instance ID. Wow. Okay. Well, well, well. Maybe we don't need to do that after all. All right, well, I still got to work my way through this. So meets conditions to upgrade portal. Oh, this is a mess. You can upgrade the portal after you've beaten the last location. It doesn't matter if you've beaten the elite or not. No, you have to. Oh, darn it. I don't totally know, but I think we can just delete this. Ensure we can just delete this. And then what's this about? The next instance, make sure, oh yeah, make sure you have enough money. Sure, this is pretty easy. This is going to be battle map location data, next location data. And there we have it. Yeah, nice. Hey, Fairmont, how you doing? Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Penguin. I have been working on something for actually pretty much the whole day. It's going pretty well. What I've been working on is trying to change the battle map that we have. So the one that we have right now, ignore the giant boss things that are showing here. We have like a forest, a canyon, a volcano, whatever. And the way this worked up until now is that every location could only house one type of battle. So the forest was always a regular battle. The canyon was always a boss battle. The volcano was always a regular one, boss battle, regular. And that worked. But I want to add more content and I don't want the map to get gigantic. So now we're going to start to do double duty on these things. So the canyon will have a boss and then a regular battle. And the crypt will have a boss and then a regular battle. And we're also going to rearrange the map a little bit. So I am trying to code for that right now. And in order to know if there's a boss or not, we need to pass around this Boolean is elite everywhere. And it's just been super annoying. Looks pretty, whatever it is I'm looking at. Yeah, well, what this is going to let us do, this new map, this is what the whole map is going to look like. Of course, with actual locations, not just the text here. But that way it all still fits in the same general area. And yet we're adding 2 new locations here, the mines and the mountain. And then this will be the full story mode, this map. And hopefully it takes about 5 hours to get through. Okay, so we are just trying to get this number of errors down to 0. And we are at, I think, 6. 4. 4 is doable. It all looks very interesting. Well, if the longer you wait, the more valuable it probably is for me at this point. In fact, if it's not already on my list, I'm going to add it to my list. Reach out to Fairmont about playing Skeleseller at some point. Yeah, I'm going to copy what you said here. And you certainly don't have to do this, or you don't have to record it or stream it or anything, but I'll still probably reach out to you about it. All right, so what is this? What are we doing? Max party size for battle panel tab. We need to know whether it's elite or not, so that we can set the start button state. Oh, God. No, they're going to need 2 start buttons. So we actually don't need to do it this way. We need 2 different max party sizes. Oh, man. Oh, neat. Okay, I'll write that down too then. Where did that go? Here. Oh, I just want to move on from this. It is going well, despite what I'm complaining about. But yeah, we're storing the max party size here. I need 2 different max party sizes. I need like regular max party size, or maybe let's write it like this: max party size, regular battle, and elite battle. And then max party size down here. This is the regular version. We need battle map location data. Get false and get true. And then swap these arguments because I'm being silly about this. Yay, now what? Is this, yeah, like that. I just copy pasted the same comment twice. Oh, thank you. I don't know how that happened. Appreciate it, Galaxy Inferno. Thanks, Adam and chat, for talking about programming. Have a good rest of stream. Just turned Saturday here. Oh, wow. Well, happy Saturday. I hope you have a good night. Sleep well. Possibly see you on Monday. Okay, so now max party size is going to be wrong. This has too many adventurers. We need to know which start button. So this is going to be the regular size. And I got to write a comment here to make sure to use this for the other button we add. All right, so now I think we're down to 3 errors. No, wait, no, maybe I added another one. Oh, I probably added more. Yeah, we're up to 6 because I accidentally screwed this up. Yeah, this should be regular everywhere. All right, anywhere else that max party size shows up? Okay, so now we're down to 3, I think. We're gonna get to the point where the game opens and something happens. And it's not gonna be working. It's gonna be a little bit closer. So now what's this? Instance data, start button state, can fight boss. Okay, we need... Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I never read Pharaoh 1 second message because of this. You know, I'm working on an entire game engine by myself, so my time horizon for deferring gratification tends to be on the higher side. Fine with waiting until you're ready for me to try. Okay, cool. I will also copy this message. And yeah, you certainly have to have that personality type if you're making a game engine. Is anyone here or any streamers you know been encountering drop frames and latency issues? Yeah, yesterday or 2 days ago, it happened to me for the first time in months, I think. But I'm not watching enough Twitch to know if it's happened to other people. So I experienced it, and it was just once this week, as far as I know. I think it dropped the stream like twice, which was also surprising. And it has not happened outside of that one day, whenever that was. Like I said, I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, I don't think I've had a problem in forever beyond that. Still having some AWS problems at work with third parties that depend on them. It might be. People were talking about that the other day, and I was streaming, of course, at the time, so I didn't look into it. Yeah, that's happening to others as well. Yeah. Yeah. I don't recall if this is a setting that everyone has access to, but if you do have access to it, there's a setting you can do that will make it so that when your stream drops and Twitch is no longer receiving data, it'll show a not like this screen, and it's bright blue and has the not like this face on it and says like technical difficulties or something. And then when your stream does send data back to them, it just starts the stream again. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Can't say I've seen it on other streams. Yeah, it's hard to say how widespread this is, but it definitely happened to me. Okay, so in this case, we need to know that the location data has elite data. Elite instance data. Wait, what's that doing there? Oh, neat. Okay, that works. So it's disabled if it's elite and you can't repeat elite battles? I don't think this is correct. I don't know. I'll just say look into this. That caused so many problems. Also, Abby's going nuts. It's like so far from her feeding time. All right, now what are we looking at here? Beat the latest location to automatically upgrade the portal. What? Strange. This is not a thing anymore, though. I think we just delete this whole thing. So now what? There's this thing? Okay, only show the cost after the tutorial so the new players aren't confused about why this is disabled. Okay, this sounds pretty reasonable. So this is going to be battle map location data, and just get the cost to unlock. Yeah. If we have any errors left, I think there's only one. It built. It's running. Oh my god. Never been so happy to see just the basic game. Oh, it's broken. All right, let's see. Nullable object must have a value. Instance data line 37. Oh, look, I have it to do saying improve this line of code. Get max now adventurers. This is if is elite. What, we're passing in true for something? Where? Very specific to do. Is elite has to be true here. It's false? How is this failing then? Does that mean it's evaluating this even though... Oh, it might just mean that this is not the iteration that's going to cause this to fail. Yeah, I guess I only care when this is true. All right, then let's edit the breakpoint. Is elite play. There. Okay, so now when is this the case? Oh, it's literally passed in as true? Why did I do that? Oh, okay. Oh, right. Not everything has an elite. What do I do about this? If location data, whoops, is elite, then set this. Localization data. Hey, Goose. Praise you because it said your stream is scheduled to go on for another 2 hours. Hopefully that's okay with you. Oh, yeah, it's always okay with me if people raid. I just feel bad when someone raids and I'm about to end. I do try to just keep those times sort of fuzzy. Like, I think my official schedule is 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. And yet I start almost every single day at exactly 8:30, and I just say I start at 9. And lately I've been ending around 11:30 actually because I want to get lunch earlier. But a lot of this has to do with daylight saving time just having happened. Yeah. Okay, so this loaded. Now we click this and don't see any problems. Oh my god, it loaded just fine. Yeah, no errors. Okay, so now what happens if you open the battle map? Oh, that caused a... Well, it probably didn't cause a bug. Yeah, it didn't cause a bug. Well. All right, let's start the forest and see what happens. So we should be fighting a bat. Yes, good. And we should get a potion. Whoops. Yep, there. Cool. All that's great. Now let's go to the canyon. It says you can only fight an elite monster once. It's not actually how that should work yet, but I haven't fixed it. And if I were to win this, I get... yeah, that's correct. Okay, let's try starting a new game and see what happens. So I go into this battle. And then I should be able to unlock this. Or what to do, I need to fix this. So now if I start a battle, what happens? Okay, it's using the elite border. But I'm fighting a red bat. I know why I'm fighting a red bat. I know I'm getting those potions. But I don't know why. The border's happening. Okay, I gotta write that down. When starting a battle in the canyon for the first time, it shows the boss border even though it puts you into a non-elite battle. The non-elite battle was hard-coded, I think. But the boss border is probably going to be a problem even in the future. Also, you know what else? We should probably just like get rid of the code that expands boss windows now that it'll be obvious that you're fighting a boss. I don't think people liked that. Okay. We've changed a lot of code. And I did finally get this building. There are a lot of tiny issues we got to fix, and we got to rename the rename me things. Delete these pointless comments. Maybe rename this. We definitely need to rename this. And rename this. So none of this should be needed anymore, right? Yeah, I think we can delete all that. Okay. So we got to address all the to-dos. Okay, I want to take some inventory here. So if we just look at this week, it was all localization stuff and then starting to work on content, which meant allowing like boss plus regular locations to be combined. Oh, I should also probably fill out the journal again. Started coding that plan. Hey, Cinexa. Yeah, so this is what we've started working on. The roadmap is here. And I am generating a larger and larger list of stuff I need to do off stream. So now this is probably going to be mostly off stream. But I need translators to help. And let's link to, hang on one second. Translating Skeleseller. Okay, good. To do what the rest of the I know. It's kind of funny to have that here, but this is actually a very tried and true system for me. Anyway, localization has started. I've got a lot more work to do there. This, allow reusing locations, we've also started. This is no longer needed. We do need the final cutscene of the game. We need our new bosses. We need more items and balancing and all that other stuff. But I don't think this is like terribly hard to do a lot of this stuff. There's going to be some game design. There's going to be some balance work. And we probably need to add more perks. Creating the town hall. Then finishing bone mode, I think is about the same. This is going to be massive. In fact, I'm going to write massive here. Stabilize, fix bugs, prune the demo. New trailer achievements. Yeah, we're doing pretty well though. Man. 10 centimeters of snow this weekend. Weather here has been pretty nice. Also, I just mentioned this, but I bought heated gloves. My wife and I went on a walk this morning and I wore the heated gloves and they were nice. That's it. That's my story. So I had this as my most important task. Make sure we can launch in Q1. I mean, looking at this list, a lot of these tasks can go on for quite some time, but I just don't see them lasting like 5 months. Also, worst case scenario, it does last 5 months and we just bump this to Q2. But I really don't want to do that. Heated gloves for Seattle? Why is that an excuse me? My fingers get cold. It's not like a bad thing. First time here, what are we working on? Working on a game called Skeleseller. What means are they heated electrical? Yeah. So there's a little battery pack and then they have filaments that go through the fingers and the palm. And they heat everything up. Hang on one second. Abby, come on in. She's gonna meow up a storm. She might as well meow up a storm on stream. Come on, cat. Yeah, good. Anyway, Cineaxa. So we're working on a game called Skeleseller. It's been about a year and a half in development. Actually, now slightly longer than that. And it's just a casual town management game. You send adventurers into battle. They fight automatically for you. You don't need to control them. And then when they win, they get items that your little skelly man here will come and pick up and bring to your shop. And then these other people walking around town, this person and this person, they can come buy the items. And you can spend the money on new buildings, new adventurers. You can eventually level up your adventurers. There's also an entirely different gameplay mode called Bone Mode, which is like a roguelite version of all of this. Abby, what is wrong? Abby, come on. What are you doing? She's going crazy. She's just like very whiny now about getting food ahead of time. It's ahead of time even if daylight saving time hadn't happened. She's going crazy. Yeah, so if anyone hasn't tried this game yet and wants to, and just wants to play the demo or something, it is there on Steam. If anyone then wants to try playtesting, I definitely need help with that, although not until probably about a month from now. So yeah, I'm very happy with this week. I'm hoping we do mostly like game dev stuff and not localization next week, but I got to take some off time to work on the rest of the translating. Yeah, there's a lot to do. Anyway, we're going to move this now to Monday. We have tenets and we have the journal. Contact me anytime through your server. Yeah, definitely will. All right, let me go find someone to raid. Have I shortchanged people today? Yes, by like 3 minutes. Oh, well. All right, let's go raid. Go raid Clonk. All right, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will be back on Monday. If you'd like to join Discord, there is the link. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.